Hello students. Students, welcome you all to the English class. And now let's continue our chapter number 6, the 100 dresses, part number 2. Now let's continue from page number 76. Maddie turned this idea carefully over in her head, for if there were anything in it, she would not have to feel so badly. As Peggy was saying that only because of their ideas, only because of when they were teasing Wanda, she had got the idea and started drawing the designs of the dresses. And now Maddie also turned this idea carefully over in her head, and also she also started thinking that it was only because of them that Wanda had got idea and she had started designing the dresses. So there is nothing to feel about that now. But that night she could not get to sleep. But even then she was not able to sleep that night. She thought about Wanda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in. Now she started thinking about Wanda and her faded blue dress, and also she started thinking of the little house in which she lived. And she thought of the glowing picture those 100 dresses made, all lined up in the classroom. Now also she thought of the glowing picture of those 100 dresses she had made up, she had talked about always, and also those dresses lined up in the classroom. At last Maddie sat up in bed and pressed her forehead tight in her hands and really thought. This was the hardest thinking she had ever done. After a long time, she reached an important conclusion. Now, she couldn't sleep that night. She kept on thinking and thinking about Wanda. At last, she reached an important conclusion. She found a conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. If she ever heard anybody picking on means treating someone unkindly, unfairly, criticizing them. Now, if she ever heard anybody picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had strange names, she would speak up. Now she came to the conclusion that she had never spoken for Wanda, even she had always felt bad for her whenever she was teased by the other girls. And now she thought she found the conclusion that now whenever she would see anybody being mocked at because of strange names or the funny looking, she would always speak up for that person. Even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship. It may also result in the losing Peggy's friendship. She had no way of making things right with Wanda, but from now on she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. Now she thought that till now she had never thought about Wanda, she had never spoken for her, but now she would never make anybody else that unhappy again, just like Wanda. Even it may result in losing Peggy's friendship. Now she will not think about that, but she will stand up with the person who would be mocked at by the others. On Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy. They were writing a letter to Wanda Petrosky. It was just a friendly letter telling about the contest and telling Wanda she had won. Now, on Saturday, they both, Maddie and Peggy, sat together and they started writing a letter to Wanda Petrosky. It was a friendly letter in which they had told about the contest she had won. They told her how pretty her drawings were, and they asked her if she liked where she was living and if she liked her new teacher. Also, they wrote in the letter about her pretty drawings, and also they put the question to her if she was very much happy now with the place where she was living, and also she liked her new teacher. They had meant to say that they were sorry, but it ended up with their just writing a friendly letter, the kind they would have written to any good friend, and they signed it with lots of X's for love. They mailed the letter to Boggins Heights, writing please forward on the envelope. Now, actually, they were writing the letter because they were feeling very much sorry, but they ended the letter showing that it was a friendly letter. And also, then they mailed the letter to the Boggins Heights, and also they wrote, "Please forward on the envelope." As the family was not living at Boggins Heights now the letter would be sent to the Boggins Heights, but it was written on the envelope, "Please forward" means now it would be forwarded to the new address. Days passed and there was no answer. But the letter did not come back, so maybe Wanda had received it. Now, days passed, but there was no answer, there was no response from Wanda, and also the letter was not back to them, was not handed over back to them, as it can be concluded that Wanda had received the letter. Perhaps she was so hurt and angry she was not going to answer. She could not blame her. You could not blame her. And also, it may be the possibility that she was very much hurt, she was angry, so that's why she was not giving the answer, and they both could not blame her. Weeks went by and still Wanda did not answer. Peggy had begun to forget the whole business, and Maddie put herself to sleep at night making speeches about Wanda, defending her from great crowds of girls who were trying to tease her with "How many dresses have you got?" Now, weeks went by, the days were passing, but Wanda did not answer. Now Peggy had started to forget about Wanda, but Maddie could not forget her. She started making the speeches for about Wanda. And also she started thinking about there was a great crowd of girls and who were trying to tease Wanda, asking how many dresses she had got. And before Wanda could press her lips together in a tight line, the way she did before answering, Maddie would cry out, "Stop!" Then everybody would feel ashamed the way she used to feel. Now, also, she started thinking that whenever it would happen, she would always be there to help Wanda. And when the girls would tease her, then Maddie would cry out, and she would stop them, and everybody would feel ashamed, and they would stop teasing her. Now it was Christmas time, and there was snow on the ground. Christmas bells and a small tree decorated the classroom. Now it was Christmas time, and the classroom was decorated with the Christmas bells and a small tree. On the last day of the school before the holidays, the teacher showed the class a letter she had received that morning. Now it was the last day of the school before the holidays, as there were Christmas holidays in the school. Now the teacher showed the class a letter she had received that morning. You remember Wanda Petrosky, the gifted little artist who won the drawing contest. And this letter was from Wanda Petrosky. And now the teacher told about her that she was a gifted little artist who had won the drawing contest. Well, she has written me, and I am glad to know where she lives, because now I can send her medal. I want to read her letter to you. Now the teacher said that she was very much happy. Now she had come to know that where she lived, so now she would be able to send her the medal she had won in the contest. And then she starts reading the letter to the class. The class sat up with a sudden interest and listened intently. Dear Miss Mason, how are you and room 13? Please tell the girls they can keep those 100 dresses, because in my new house I have 100 new ones, all lined up in my closet. I would like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of the green dress with the red trimming, and her friend Maddie to have the blue one. For Christmas, I miss that school, and my new teacher does not equalize with you. Merry Christmas to you and everybody. Yours truly, Wanda Petrosky. Now, Wanda Petrosky wrote the letter to the teacher, and the teacher read it to the class. And it was written in the letter that she was missing her old school, and also she said that the girls could keep those 100 dresses she had drawn, as she had some new dresses new in the new house, and all are lined up in the closet. And also she preferred to give the drawing of the green dress to Peggy and the blue one to Maddie. And also she said for Christmas she was missing the school, and also she said that the new teacher could never be able to equalize her old teacher Miss Mason. On the way home from school, Maddie and Peggy held their drawings very carefully. Now Maddie and Peggy took their drawings as they were gifted by Wanda Pentrosky, and they were coming back to the home. All the houses had wreaths and holly in the windows, as it was the Christmas time, and they saw that all the houses had wreaths. Wreaths means the rings of flowers arranged in the flowers, and holly in the windows. A holly means a small evergreen tree that is used as a Christmas decoration. And this kind of the houses were decorated with different kind of the flowers, and they were arranged properly. Outside the grocery store, hundreds of Christmas trees were stacked, and in the window, candy peppermint sticks and cornucopias of shiny transparent paper were strung. Now they could see that all the houses and the shops were decorated with the material for the Christmas day. The air smelled like Christmas, and light shining everywhere reflected different colors on the snow. And also they could feel the smell. Could smell the air. It was smelling just like the Christmas, and light was shining everywhere, and it was reflecting in different colors on the snow. Boy, said Peggy, this shows she really likes us. It shows she got our letter, and this is her way of saying that everything's alright, and that's that. Now, Peggy calls Maddie, she calls her boy, and also she said that as she had gifted them the drawings, it shows that she liked them very much. I hope so, said Maggie sadly. Maddie sadly. She felt sad because she knew she would never see the little tight-lipped polished girl again, and couldn't ever really make things right between them. But Maddie was still upset, as she was feeling very much sad, as they had always made fun of her, and now she was sad because now she would never be able to see her again. And also she wanted to make the things right between them, but now she would never be able to do so. She went home and she pinned her drawing over a torn piece in the pink flat wallpaper in the bedroom. So when she went back home, she put her drawing in her bedroom over a torn place in the pink flat wallpaper. The shabby room came alive from the brilliancy of the colors. As it was a shabby room, but now it became colorful, it became alive because of the different colors in the drawings. Maddie sat down on her bed and looked at the drawing. She had stood by and said nothing, but Wanda had been nice to her anyway. Now, she sat down on her bed and looked at the drawing. Again, she started thinking about Wanda, that she had never said her anything to Peggy when she was teasing her, but Wanda was always nice to them. Tears blurred her eyes, and she gazed for a long time at the picture. Now, the tears started shedding from the eyes. Due to the tears, her eyes became blurred, and she looked at the picture for the long time. Then hastily she rubbed her eyes and studied it intently. The colors in the dress were so vivid that she had scarcely noticed the face and head of the drawing. Now she rubbed her eyes, and then again she started looking at the picture. The colors in the dress were so vivid that she had not noticed the face and head of the drawing. But it looked like her, Maddie. It really looked like her own mouth. Why it really looked like her own self? Wanda had really drawn this for her. Excitedly she ran over to Peggy's. But now, when she looked at the head and the face of the drawing very intently, now she came to know that the face looked like just Maddie, and mouth was also just like Maddie. And now she came to know that Wanda had surely drawn this picture only for her. Then she became very much happy, and she ran over to Peggy's. Peg, she said, let me see your picture. What's the matter? Asked Peggy as they clattered up to her room, where Wanda's drawing was lying face down on the bed. Maddie carefully raised it. Now she went to Peggy and She asked her about the painting, about the drawing that Wanda had presented her, and then she found that the picture was lying upside down on the bed. Then Maddie picked the picture. Look, she drew you. That's you, she exclaimed. And the head and the face of this picture did look like Peggy. And now the drawing that was gifted to Peggy was just like the head and face of the picture was just like Peggy. What did I say? Said Peggy. She must have really liked us anyway. Now, Peggy also became happy and she said that I knew that she had always liked us. Yes, she must have, agreed Maddie. And she blinked away the tears that came every time she thought of Wanda, standing alone in that sunny spot in the schoolyard, looking stolidly means showing no interest, over at the group of laughing girls after she had walked off, after she had said, sure, 100 of them all lined up. Now, the tears were coming out of the tears were coming out of the eyes of Maddie. She was crying as she was uh, showing happiness also. She was feeling about Wanda, and she was thinking of Wanda that when she would be seen standing alone in that sunny spot in the schoolyard, and she would be looking at the girls would be laughing at her, and when she would walk off after she had said, sure, 100 of them all lined up. Surely these were the 100 dresses, these were the 100 designs that she had drawn. So now at last Maddie and Peggy came to know that Wanda had always liked them, and now they were not sorry, they were feeling very much happy. They were very much excited now and still thinking about Wanda Pentrosky. So, students, this is all about the chapter. I hope you have understood. Okay, students, goodbye and have a nice day.